Hello, 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 hello. I know this is not the usual time, but we are here. We are going to be doing the continuation of yesterday's live. So let's see. We're waiting for it to pop up and say, yes, you are indeed live. I mean, it says I am, but you know how that goes. YouTube. Yeah. All right. Yep. We good. We good. We good. We good. Hello, Tarot Gothess. Welcome. 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 So I'm trying. I think I did pretty good. I got here a little bit earlier than I expected to be able to get here. Um, and I even tried to check and make sure that this was a time that was in between like the end of the first round of games, because I didn't want to have this live at like the time when games were ending, and it's at the beginning of the next set of games. So, beginning of the games, hopefully not as important as the end of the game. So, we are here. Welcome, welcome. Um, while we wait and see if people get notifications and come in, um, one of the things I forgot to do yesterday was so yeah, I have everything that we had yesterday so that we can go back to any of it that we need to. Um, but I forgot yesterday to go over our weekly vibration. So our vibration for last week, oh no. Oh no. She too thicky. I don't know if it's possible to be too thicky, but whatever. That line was too thicky. Fixed it. All right. So our vibration for last week was 129. And so this is where we were supposed to be looking for endings or shiftings of energy, which makes sense because this was right at the end of that September time when we were having to deal with all of that extra 9 energy from September. So this 9 energy from September was getting us to a point of ending and shifting, and it was then encountering this 12, which is the change in perspective. And we've already talked about this week this change in perspective. Hello, hello. I just started talking about the number from last week because I forgot to do it yesterday. So this is just what I'm starting with as people are coming in. And then we'll switch to what we were intending to use this time for to finish up our discussion from yesterday. So our number for our vibration for last week was 129, and it really was about looking for this ending and these shifting. So as September was coming to an end, what were things that really fully needed to be ended, and the energy needed to be shifted, and how could that shifting energy really move into this change in perspective or bring on a change in perspective. And then this added up to another 12, where now we're having this change in perspective again. And all of this 9 energy coming in and changing perspectives was really meant to bring us to a place of growth. So this was just the vibration that we were looking for um, last week. So every week I try and give you a random vibration to show you the breakdown so that you hear how I'm reading these vibrations so you can begin to learn how to do that. But then also to give you something to start looking for, because being able to pay attention to the vibrations that we are encountering are really important. Hi, Annie. I'm glad you made it again. And look, earlier. Not that much earlier, but at least it's earlier. I don't know. Uh, YouTube and their notifications are all over the place. All over the place. So this is our vibration that we had last week. Um, and why don't we, will you let me know? Why don't you tell me, do we want to do our wheel spin now for this week? Um, Before we jump into the rest of like the hip hop discussion? What do you think? Let me know. Because we can look at what vibration to look for this week. Hey, Josh! I'm so glad you made it. We were just talking about our random vibrations while everybody that needed to be here made it in. Okay, okay. Thanks, Tarot Gothis. Yeah, that sounds good. Okay, okay. Perfect. So let's do that. So let's do our random wheel spin to see what vibrations we should be looking for this week. And then we will jump into the remainder of our discussion from yesterday. Okay, let me get to our wheel. All right, I'm at our wheel. And spin that wheel. That's just fun to say. And every time I look at this, I just love this wheel. I think it's just so funny how you can't even tell if it's spinning or not. Woohoo! Oh, look, another 9. But now we have 629. All right, so let me get back over here and we'll break this down. Okay. So, 629. So the first thing is that we need to recognize this when we add this up. So when we add this up, we're getting to 17, which then goes to 8. So these are like the bigger picture vibrations that we'll be looking for this week. And this is interesting, but we are starting again with this 9. So remembering that October is actually resonating at a 19 that goes to a 10 and then to a 1. So even though this 9 energy from September is not as dominant as it was last month, thank God, because that was like horrible. It's still very dominant, especially in this year, because we're still in a 9 year. So this week we'll still be looking for what are those endings, what are the things that are ending, and what are the things that are shifting. And we actually will be focusing on shifting because we need to be shifting the energy from September into October. But also, this numerical vibration of 62 is the numerical vibration of the word shift. So this shift is getting highlighted right now. The energy shifting is what's really important to focus on and to look for this week. And this shifting is really culminating in uh, this 17, where we've talked about this 7, where this 7 is really about action in flow. It's taking the right actions in the right time, in the right vibration. And so we want to make sure that we're doing that so that it can fully support our use of this new energy. And if we're doing that, then we can create some cycles that are infinite. Now, this is a good thing if it's cycles that we want to have. It's like if we're building up new, better habits or new, better ways of being to bring us into like this new, better life. Man, I don't know why that word better just keeps coming out all over the place. But it can also be very harmful if we get into bad habits during in this energy, or use this energy for bad habits, because those infinite cycles can be created in that way as well. So this is reminiscent of what we were, the energy that we were seeing back in August. So that's another thing you can look for this week, is if you had, if there's anything that we talked about or we saw or was happening in August that now is repeating in this week. Those are things we'd want to look for. So this is the vibration to just kind of look out for, and to get some practice looking for these vibrations and working with these vibrations on a regular basis. All right. I think it's interesting too that it's this 29 is in here again. I just noticed that, because we had the 29 last week and we have the 29 this week. And this is one of those that adds up to an 11 too. An 11 that goes to 2. So that energy is still dominant also. The other thing is 29 is the numerical vibration of the color and the word black. So the use of the word black and seeing the black color could be resonating a lot more for last week and in this week. So interesting. Glad. Oh, you noticed it too? Okay, Annie. Yeah. I'm glad that I picked that up, because that's an important piece here. All right. So let's go and look. So we were going to focus in on looking at Troy. We'll start with Troy with these R words of reminisce. Oh, really? I think it might be the right color, Annie. And we'll look at residue and residual. Was there another RE word that we needed to include in here? Hi, Noah. Thanks for being here. It's good to see you. Let me know if there's any other like R words that are coming up. But we will start working on Troy. And Josh, I know this was from you, so if there's additional details or additional information or additional questions that you have, please feel free to put that in the chat. And so I did start writing down a little bit so that we could condense our time. And so in this song, Troy, actually let's do here. Oh, see, I'm drawn to black. We have a couple of things that are going on here. Oh, you did. I saw that. That was a really good one. Yeah, so we can think about the reincarnated also. when we start talking about those RE words, just remind me to include that one too. Um, and so this song, Troy, is spelled out. It's like an abbreviation for they reminisce. Um, they reminisce over you. And when I started listening to this song again, then I was reminded that this was a song, it was a tribute song to a friend that they had lost. Um, and his name was Troy. And so then that's where this came from. And then it was this reminiscence of, and talking about like remembering those that had passed on. Um, so when we do the math, so Troy, T is 20, R is 18, O is 15, and Y is 25. Um, this adds up to 78. And so just by like this title of the name, um, we know that what is being discussed and what is coming out, the vibrations that are in this song, really are about these infinite cycles. So it's kind of like uh, these things that we know are always going to happen. They're going to happen whether we want them to or not. It's going to come back to us. This energy is always coming back to us, and it's rotating through. So it's these infinite cycles. And also, it's these infinite cycles that are moving towards action. But the action is prompting us to think about, because this goes to 15, it's prompting us to think about the changes that could happen with the actions that we take, and how those changes put us in a position where we have to choose between being in bondage or being freed. And neither one is good or bad. It just depends on the situation and um, the perspective or the situation that you're in. And so, okay, Josh, I just saw your message. So this is like just the vibrations of the song. This is what it's really like pushing for, is to examine the changes that are coming from the actions that we take from these infinite cycling energies, and how that can put us in a place of comfort or discomfort. And what do we do about that? How do we handle it? And that's very interesting. And then I think I did this. Yeah, I tried to do some of this math um, beforehand so that we would go faster. This phrase, they reminisce over you. Um, First of all, reminisce on its own is 95. And so here we see the 5 from this 15. So the change that's coming in, it's coming in from a place of reminiscing. The change that needs to shift is coming in from what is the change that can be made from looking at these infinite cycles that keep happening and that we keep encountering, and the actions that we're taking, our responses to them. And so to reminisce is to have a change and a full ending. So when you're reminiscing about someone or something, it is a full ending that is coming to play. And so this 9 is different here than what we've been feeling like in this year and in October, where this 9 of this year, 2025, has really been about shifting. The 9 here is a full ending. So it's a full ending here. And that's important to note as well, that it's a full ending. And then when we look at this whole phrase, this whole thing together, it vibrates at 274, which goes to 13 and a 4. And the part that we want to really focus in on, that's in relation to everything else that we've been looking at, like all of these other vibrations, is this 13. Because this 13 is transformation. This is the biggest change that you can make. Oh, that's a good question, Emmy. Okay. Sorry, I couldn't talk and right at the same time. Yeah, no, that's a good question, Annie. It's so the way that I'm calculating these vibrations is I'm using the English alphabet chart where A is, let me put it here. A is 1 and then Z is 26. And so for any of the words, any of the acronyms, any of the phrases, you can do this for lyrics also and for names. You're just substituting the letter for the number. But we're making sure not to reduce them to a single digit because we want to get the full picture of that path and also the outcome. And so that's how this is getting to this point. So I hope that makes sense. So Josh, how are you feeling about this so far? Any other questions? Any other clarification coming up? I'm going to keep going, but I'll watch the chat for anything else. So this, yes, Annie. So before I start again, you can always use another language. So each language has its own numerical code. And some of them actually have their own numerology chart for what each letter represents. So like in Hebrew, they already have it that they use for gematria. They also already have the breakdown for Arabic. And I think there's already a breakdown for like Hindi. But you can always look up if there's one that already exists, and if not, you just use the order in which the letters come in the alphabet. Yes, so you can definitely use do this for Albanian also, and really any language. And sometimes it's very interesting to be able to take a word and see what it resonates like in English, and then find the equivalent of that word in another language and look at its vibration as well. Okay, great, Josh. Okay, good. So this 13 is like the biggest transformation you can make. But also this 13th card of the tarot deck. So tarot 13 is the card Death. So this really is like bringing up these questions and what is this ultimate transformation, and really having to look at death in a different way as well. So then we have October 8th. And so in this song, October 8th is mentioned as somebody's birthday. And so when we have a birthday, that is a shift and a transition of our own personal energy into the next year. So it's like our own personal New Year's. It's a time to celebrate what we were able to accomplish in our previous energy, and then what we and set some goals and intentions for how we want to use the energy going forward. Oh, wow. Yeah, that'll be great, Noah. Tell me what you find out. That'll be fascinating. Yes, Annie, and so other languages that do that also. It's both of those letters would be considered a letter because it's in the other, it's in Albanian, and so like the sh would be one letter. So that's why you have to look at it in the order of that language. Okay, so for October 8th, we have, so just in general, this is an 18 vibration every single year. And then when we add the vibration of the year on it, then we are able to see what that vibration is in for that particular year. And so this is what we do when we get our life path number, if this is your birthday and you put your year of birth on it. But this 18 is bringing up again this 8 energy, these infinite cycles. So just by mentioning that, we now are getting even more of this 8 vibration. So it's these cycles that are happening. Why are we continuously having the same actions, the same reaction to these cycles that are happening? Whether they are like cycles of death and rebirth, or death and birth, or of losing somebody, or just in general of like our interactions with other people. So there's a lot of this 8 energy that is coming up around this song, especially with this date. So for this year, so if we make this 2025, for this year, the numerical vibration is 27. And so this 27 is another 9 vibration. So here we have that 9 of ending that's coming in. But because it's for this year, now it's really letting us know that as we're listening to these vibrations and we're taking in the vibrations from this song for ourselves in this moment in time, where at the time this song was made and the vibrations that are woven into this song, it really was about ending. We should be using these vibrations as a shifting, because this is that shifting energy of 2025. This also gives us clues on how to use this energy. This is not what I expected to come out. Just I just had to say that out loud, because I was like, this is not usually what the type of thing that comes out in these kinds of music messages. So this must just be for you, Josh. This must be like a deeper message for you that we all get to witness. But back to this. What is being shown here is not only is this 9 more about shifting the energy instead of ending the energy. It's like taking the energy of like whatever or whoever is no longer meant to be in our space or in our life, and cleaning it up, because you have to clean it up to be able to shift it and use it in a different way, which is very different than just ending that connection to that energy. So we are, instead of just ending and having it be completely gone, it is now a shifting. To now a shifting of this energy, and we are given more information about that with this 7 of taking action and flow, that came up here also just as part of the name. But here, this taking action was based on these infinite cycles. This taking action is showing you how to be able to take the right action in the shifting of this energy. So making sure that the actions you're taking are to clean up and shift the energy, not just end it. Woo-wee. That was a lot. And then we did talk about yesterday, like this 27 as a mirror image to the 72 that represents hip hop. It feels like that was more meant for yesterday. Also, the getting to a place of 200 feels more like that was for yesterday. And this is more of the message for today. Is this resonating for you, Josh? Everybody? Any and everybody? Does this resonate? And also, do you have any questions or any comments? Anything to add? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes, that's another really good connection, Josh. And that's when we know that we're encountering these pure vibrations, is when we have all of these synchronicities, all of these connections that are coming together to say, yes, this is true. Yes, this is true. Yes, this is true. Because those purest vibrations that we get is it's completely neutral, and so all of these synchronicities are encompassed within it. You're very welcome, Josh. This was very interesting, and this is actually really helpful, because I want you all to know that yes, you can bring dates, you can bring your birthdays in here, and birthdays of other people, but we're encountering these vibrations all the time and everywhere we go. It's in the words that we speak. It's in the words that we hear, and in the lyrics that we hear, and in the music that we hear. And so if something is like you get a song stuck in your head, or a lyric stuck in your head, or a lyric is just hitting you different, we need to look at those vibrations, because it's usually not just you. There's usually bigger messages in there for all of us. And like I said yesterday, it's exciting for me to be able to have these conversations with you all, and not just by myself. So what we want to go into now is looking at these other RE words, because we had several come up. So if you have other words that start with RE that you want it to be part of this discussion, please make sure that you let me know. I saw that, Noah. Isn't that exciting? That was so exciting. So we have I cannot spell for nothing. So you're going to have to let me know if I do not spell anything right. So we just did reminisce, which is 95. We also had, from yesterday, we had residue, which I did the math ahead of time, is 81. And we had residual. So what other RE words did you want to include in this? Which is 89. Yes. I love that, Josh. Yes. Like we're getting these messages from the universe all the time. And whether we see it as coming from the universe or coming from God or coming from our ancestors or coming from our passed on loved ones or from an artist that they put in this song and now you're getting this deeper message, it's all important and it's all meant for us. It's amazing. Okay, residual, and then I'm trying to remember. Oh yeah, do you want Annie? Do you want reincarnated, like with the D at the end, or reincarnate? I'm gonna put reincarnated and start calculating it, but let me know in the chat. Okay, reincarnated. Okay, great. Any others of these are E words? Reincarnated. So when I talk about like how we have to be very intentional with our words and our actions, this is why, because we are actually putting out these messages to the universe and to other people all the time. And so you have to be very intentional about what words you are using and why you're using them, because then we also have multiple phrases and words that resonate the same, and you could be sending out the wrong message. So you have to have a lot of intention behind what you're saying and what you're doing. Oh, that's amazing, Noah. What I might have you do, Noah, is because I only have like a half an hour left that I can be on here. And so if you want to, you can save it for the next live so then we can do a deep dive into your dream. Or you're welcome to type out the dream in here and I'll save it for next time for us to talk about. And we could talk about it on Friday. Yeah, these are good words. All right, so first thing I'm going to point out is there's a couple of these words. Actually, we'll just do one. Where I was just talking about how a word can resonate the same as another word. So residual of like what's left over actually has the same numeric vibration as the word unity. Okay, we'll save it for Friday, Noah, but make sure to come back so you can tell us. And we'll do a deep dive on it. So residual resonates the same as the word unity. So with your intention behind it, you could be sending different messages with this vibration. But also, you don't have control over what perspective somebody else is standing in and taking in that vibration, because that changes the message for them. because we have one message that we are sending out with the vibration and the choices we're making. Oh, hi, Vegas Unlocked. Is this Dave and Karen? Dave, Karen, thank you for being here. But we have one message. Oh, Karen, thank you for being here. It's nice to see you. We have one message that we're sending out with our words. And if we're an artist or a poet or whatever, we're sending it out with our lyrics. We're sending it out with the images that we put out. And then there's this other message that is coming in. So regardless of what message you put out, that vibration is coming into the space, and it's changed based on the person's perspective that is taking it in. So the universe can give that person a totally different message than what you intended. So that's a lot of times where we have miscommunication, because our language and our use of language is it's basically like diluting the pure vibration. So because pure vibration is neutral, it holds everything that is positive and negative in one vibration. But when we start trying to describe that vibration in our words, we're diluting it, we're changing it. We're like saying, oh, we're only going to pull these positive pieces out, or we're only going to pull out these negative pieces. And so we're actually diluting the vibration. I don't know why I needed to say that here, but I guess I did. Because the real thing that we wanted to talk about with these RE words is that this what do they have? It's what is it the suffix what comes at the end? What comes at the beginning? A prefix. So we have this prefix of RE, and RE itself is 23. And we've talked about this before, where this 23 is the numerical vibration of the phrase I am. So whenever we have these RE words, it really is about and drawing your attention to your own identity and to yourself. It's drawing it to I am. That's what this is doing. But right now, it's extra significant because we are in retrograde season. Where am I going to write it? Okay, here we go. I wrote too big. Hey, Doc! Welcome in. So we're in retrograde season. And retrograde is when the planets look like they're spinning the other way. But really all it signifies is that the energy that we're receiving, it's turning inward. And so we're working with more of this energy on an inward level, which makes sense with the I am. We're looking at it and receiving it more inwardly than we usually are when the planets are direct, where it's outward. So it's really focusing on that I am. And I just noticed, so this word retrograde actually resonates at 111. So it has lots of momentum of that new energy. But then if we put a retrograde, now we have this 112, which is the same as reincarnated. So there's another one of those where we have this these two words or phrases that are resonating the same, where we can now get more from that vibration. The messages can change and could be different for different people. So the last thing I want to do with this is I want to add up these words together, because it's never, by coincidence that these words come out together. And so when we add all of these up, What color can I use? So when we do 95 plus 81 plus 89 plus 112, we get 377. And so these words all together are giving us a message around understanding the actions that we need to take. So here are these sevens again, of these actions that we need to take, but making sure that we're taking them in flow, that we're in the vibrational flow. We're not trying to force anything, but we are very intentional about flowing in and taking the right action at the right time. This 77 is also the numerical vibration of the word power. So it's an examination of the power and how we are using our power, but also how we are witnessing how power is being used against us or for us. So in this examination of power, we are going to better understand what are the actions that we need to take in the correct vibration. What are the actions that we can take that are going to be steering that power in the right direction with the right intention? Because by doing that, then we are able to get to a place of growth. And this place of growth, when we have all of this together, now we're getting to, so when we do 3 plus 7 plus 7, we get 17. So now we have this action again, that if we take the right action at the right time, we're able to draw in this new energy and create cycles. So create habits and routines and this energy flow that can keep repeating itself and coming back to us. Of course you've been seeing 777 all day long, Annie. I'm not surprised. Yeah. It's always these same vibrations. So what happens is we have like a tapestry, a blanket of vibrations that are coming down from the universe, but then we're adding to it with our words and actions, like we're adding threads to it, and then the earth is adding threads to it to be able to get this whole big like tapestry of vibrations. And when we are encountering certain words and certain lyrics and certain feelings and certain numbers, it's like pulling at the strings of this tapestry, and then when we start pulling it, we get this bigger message. And if we go far enough, then we can see the whole tapestry. We can see how it all connects back to all of these bigger vibrations. And that number, Noah, is actually very interesting too. We'll have that be the last thing here. But 52 is, a 7. So again, we have more of this action and flow. But 52 is the numerical vibration of the word heart. And then we can see that it also is the numerical vibration of the word earth. So earth energy resonates at 52, and so does heart energy. Cool. Okay. I got like 20 minutes for this impromptu, unexpected live. But if there's anything that comes up after, or if there was any questions or comments that were left undone here, please just feel free to put it in the comments, because I do try and go through the comments and add to those discussions and answer those questions. All right. So the last thing was what Tiptoe Joe brought up yesterday. So hopefully he gets to this recording. But this KRS 1, and there's a couple of things that I wanted to point out here. So for anybody that doesn't know, this is a hip-hop artist. This is an MC. He does not, this is one of the original like MCs, where when hip-hop was first getting started in New York, he was part of that group. But he's known as like the philosopher of hip-hop, or like the teacher. Like he is a lyrical MC and goes very deep into the conversations that he's having within his artwork. And so first, if we just look at his name, the first thing, if we take this KRS, and please, those of you that were here yesterday, don't freak out too much. But K is 11, R is 18, and S is 19. And when we add this up, we get 48. And so this is where I was like, don't freak out too much, because 48 is what we talked about extensively yesterday, because this is the life path number of both Kendrick Lamar and Hanuman Kind. So this vibration, this is us pulling the string, where we started looking at the life path numbers of Kendrick Lamar and Hanuman Kind and seeing, oh, they're the same, 48. We started pulling the string, and now what has come out from this vibrational tapestry is this KRS1, where KRS now, oh, here's this again. But I wanted to point this out also because it matters how you write the rest of his name. So if we were to write the rest of his name just with a 1, now we're getting 49. And we could have like a discussion about what is this energy that's coming into the space. But if we actually write it out like how he actually has it, it's actually written out as 1. Now we have an additional set of vibrations here, where O is 15, N is 14, and E is 5. And when we add all of this together, we get 82. So a very different vibration, but it's still connected, it's still important, and this 82 is what was meant to come out, because we were talking extensively yesterday also about the 10 energy of October, and so 82 adds up to 10 and a 1. Also, the 82 resonates with him and his artistry more. It resonates more with his messages that he is bringing forth. And that's because 82 is the numerical vibration of the words portal and gateway. And there's another one, but it's slipping my mind, so it must not need to come out right now. So his name is opening up a gateway. It's opening up a portal space for these vibrations to come through. So I think that's very cool. Like, this is the message that, like, all of his messages are like being pushed through this portal energy. And we'll see as we go that that actually is very significant. So remember this: 82. Yes. Yes. Thank you, Josh. Yes. Oh, knowledge reigns supreme over everyone is what KRS1 represents. And that also fits with this portal. Yes. Amazing. Thank you, Josh. So the song that I wanted to focus on, because we could go deep diving into a whole bunch of songs from him, but I wanted to focus on one because it really will help us to then see how to apply these vibrations to other artists and to hip hop as a whole. And so I wanted to focus on My Philosophy, because it's one of his most popular songs and most well-known songs. And so the title, My Philosophy, actually resonates at 181. So when we put in all of those letters, we get 181. And this is a portal number. Also, it's another 82, because the 1 and the 1 is 2. But this is a portal number because these two ones want to be together, and so they're moving in this way and pushing forth this vibration of 8. And so this title is like he's like sending out this vibration of, in this space, in this song, we're going to talk about these infinitely cycling energies. And in this case, it's the systems of the industry that he's speaking about, and how to behave and move and act within the industry, which is very much 8 energy. Yes, it's going to be great, Karen. I'm excited. If we add to this My Philosophy on the industry, because that's really what this is focused on. Hi, Mai. Thanks for being here. We only got a few more minutes left, but I'm glad you could make it. We're talking about KRS-One's song, My Philosophy. So on the industry, so My Philosophy on the industry. So this equals, so all together, so it's the 181 plus on the industry, which I don't have what that equals, but the whole thing equals 373. So again, we have another one of these portal numbers. So the vibrations that he's putting out through this song really is pushing through these portals. It's creating these portals to push these vibrations into this space, which I just think is really cool. Let's see, what else can we add here? So another one that I wanted to make sure we saw. So basically what we can do and what we would see. So if we dug deeper into this, and I do think we need to come back probably to KRS-One in the future to really dive into some of these vibrations so that we can see if this is true. But what we would probably see is that a lot of the lyrics in not just this song, but in a lot of his music, that are resonating with us, if we got the numerical vibrations of them, they probably are portal numbers also. And they probably are like creating this portal and pushing it through the space, because that's his general vibration. And when he's known as hip hop's philosopher, he calls himself a teacher, a poet, and a scholar. Others see him as the philosopher. And the word or the title of philosopher is 141. So again, another one of these portal numbers that's pushing forth this vibration of 4, which is about foundation and security. But because it's in its purest form, it's asking you to examine your foundations and securities and either break them down or build them up. What else do we want to look at for this? Anything else? I think we need to have like a one whole time. I did want to bring this up, but I also want to be able to talk about this again with Tiptoe Joe when he's able to make a live, because that's where this vibration has come from. This is where it has come into our group. And so we want to make sure that we are tracking back to the source of where those vibrations have come in. Okay, so we'll leave this, but I wanted to make sure, I thought that was very cool that his name actually resonates the same as the word portal and the word gateway. And then when we start digging into his song and his philosophy, because this is my philosophy on the industry, we continue to see these portal numbers. Oh yeah, Annie. So let's real quick. This will be the last thing. So I got to get out of here. But I actually have 713. Ugh. I guess I wanted to write 711. 713 and 281. I actually have a video on my channel right now that is 137, and both of these vibrations, I think I have one on 128 also, so you can look and see. But these would be considered parallel vibrations. So they're not the mirror images of these other vibrations, but they're the parallels where they use the same vibrations. But both of these are part of this pathway through 11, because both of them add up to 11, which takes us to 2. So both of these, if you're seeing these numbers, both of them are really trying to get you to understand that we need to be recognizing the extremes that are being presented to us, or that we're witnessing or observing, and begin to figure out. So this whole pathway through 11 is a way to better understand what the extremes are along our path of ascension, or along our path of reaching a goal. That on any path or any road, there's always two sides. There's always these two extremes. And what we need to do is figure out how to be on the right side of the road or in the middle. We need to find our unique neutral position to be able to work through. And so when we see these kinds of vibrations where they are coming up and their parallels are coming up a lot, it's really at this next level that we need to focus. So, like, just looking at these and seeing that they both add up to 11, then we know the bigger message, the deeper message that we want to focus on is at this 11. And how do we get these 11s to go to the 2? So how do we find a neutral place? And we have to be careful, especially right now, because the way that we work with 11 is changing. It has already started to change, and it's very much changing right now, where typically when we have 11, it is balance, Annie, where you're balancing between these two things. This is not what we are supposed to be doing anymore. No more balance. We can't balance between. We can't, because right now, this balance is more looking like and feeling like straddling the fence, like trying to be on both sides at the same time. And that's not what we're meant to do. What we're meant to do right now is examine both extremes, because it's not good for us to be at either extreme. And this is in all areas of our life. And so we look at both extremes, and we figure out what are the things that are good for us, that are going to help us move forward in our life and raise our vibrations, and what is not good for us and needs to be removed. And so then we work to remove the pieces from our life that are representing these extremes that aren't good for us, and we pull the good things into a new place. So the 2 is not about balance. It's about finding a position of neutrality where both extremes are recognized and included. Because the being at either extreme is not good. And what seems to be happening is that as all of us are working and healing towards a higher vibration, duality is going away. And it seems like that's what's happening with the earth. Like, we're never going to be completely done with duality. And really what's happening is the extremes are closer together. And so we can clearly see them. When they were very far apart, we couldn't see them and they couldn't see each other. But we can see these extremes very clearly right now. And so we need to be able to find a neutral position between them. I hopefully that answered your question. These will keep coming up. And I actually have a whole series that I'm needing to put together on all of these numbers that add up to 11. Because there's some very big messages that are meant to come out with these numbers and these vibrations. Oh, good. Good. Thank you, Josh. Okay, good, Annie. I'm glad. Okay. So welcome to the impromptu continuation of our Saturday live. I gotta shoot out of here. I'm pretty proud of myself that I was able to get on here early enough to give us like a full hour. And we'll see. I'm gonna have another impromptu, but that's gonna be an impromptu celebration for all of the new subscribers that have come in the last couple weeks, which has been super exciting. And I don't know when that'll be. We will see. But I will definitely be back on Friday this week and on Saturday this week. And we will do this again. Thank you so much for being here. You're very, very welcome. You're welcome, Noah. You're welcome, Josh. Thank you so much for being here. You're welcome, Annie. Thank you for being here. It's always fun to come and chat. So have a really wonderful rest of your Sunday and your weekend. And I will be seeing you later this week. Have a good one. Thanks. Bye.